Starburns Audio.
Thank you for listening to the Starburns Audio Podcast Network. We have so many great comedy shows to add to your playlist. Just last week on Starburns Audio, on the Season 2 premiere of Humans Who Make Games, Adam Conover talks to comedian Ron Funches and Jean Goudon, creative director of the Assassin's Creed series. On Boogie Monster, Kyle Kinane and Dave Stone share a perfect recipe for the quarantined cook. This week on Profiles and Eccentricity, they cover the history of the Khorasan Unity cult, folks for whom a flat earth is ridiculous because they believe it's really a concave shell. Search Starburns Audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform for our full list of shows, featuring hosts like Joe Coy, Amanda Seales, Jessica Chobot, and Jackie Johnson. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Starburns Audio. Enjoy the show. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep laughing.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Then don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits, the funny hits, and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey Townies, it's time for Dumb People Town! Maybe we start a new tradition, I don't know. Sklars Brothers here with Dan Van Kirk.
I am here.
He's our co-pilot, just like Jesus might be your co-pilot. We got
Let us take the wheel.
Let us take the wheel, or give it up. We give it up to this guy who's on our show, a friend of ours for many, many years, back since New York. One of the best comedians and improvisers we know, Andy Daly.
Hello. It's great to be here. How are you?
Loving review.
Thank you.
If you're not watching review, I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
You need to be reviewed by Andy's character.
There's only 3 episodes this season. Go watch it on Comedy Central's website and laugh your ass off.
We are trying to figure out the combination of the things that the character has that make it great in every situation. It's a gigantic blind spot. It's a willingness to try anything.
Yeah.
It's a confidence to make him think that he's right, and yet a total naivete and innocence towards the world.
Right. He is incredibly optimistic. That's the weirdest, maybe the weirdest thing about him.
The weirdest thing about him.
Things go horribly every single time.
He's not a cynic.
Yeah, right.
He is a critic. It's like,
and sometimes he's concerned about the gravity of this request, but a lot of the time he's just like, okay, well this one over this, I see no reason this shouldn't turn out fine.
Right, and I love how,
even though none of them have ever turned out fine,
and every single thing feels like the person who's giving it the either the text or the tweet or the video thing seems like they're fucking with you.
Yeah.
Yet you're like, I got to take it seriously.
It's just a world full of assholes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was it in season 1? Was it that you had to go through a divorce?
Yeah, that was our third episode.
Kitchen, the scene in the kitchen with your wife. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And he can't. The funnest thing about that scene is that he can't give her a reason.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Like, so you're going to do this to our kid. You're going to do this.
He can't just say, I'm just doing it for the show.
Right.
No.
I just
got to do it full.
It would skew the experiment.
And then that comes back later in a later episode.
Yeah.
It comes back to like burn you when you come back to the door. And by the way, she's so good. Jessica St. Clair. Oh my God.
She's amazing.
Ridiculously great.
So good.
So you have great people on the show, and the show's great. You have a little mini kind of 3-episode thing happen now that you can people watch it on ComedyCentral.com?
Yeah, you can. I think it may even be in front of the authentication wall, but don't quote me on that. I don't know how that whole thing works.
Don't quote him. Well, I love how
it's on demand somewhere. I don't know.
So do that if you want to support great and funny comedy, and you are the perfect, your skills blend perfectly for what we are about to do here on this show.
Delighted.
We get great stories.
Finally, my skills blend perfectly to something.
Well,
Finally.
we described it
Because they don't do it anywhere else.
It's never
Not in
happened.
parenting, not in
That's
comedy.
for sure.
not in life.
No, I've met your kids and they're lovely.
Yeah, but this show, as we described to you, was like the in a writer's room in Hollywood when you get all the writers get together before they actually sit
You
down.
can't just sit down immediately at 9 a.m. and start writing.
Never.
No one never has ever done that.
Never.
And then
I remember
Something's broken if that
I
happens.
remember my first writer's room. I realized very quickly that from 9
till noon.
till
lunch.
I was very good at supporting other people's ideas and taking notes. Then 2 to like 7. That's my. Like,
interesting.
That's
Good.
my
That's
time.
good
Yeah,
observing.
because I would just roll up and be like, whatever you guys think is funny right now, I'll just follow along with because I can't think on my own.
Or you just all sit around and watch what you were saying in the review writer's room, just videos of drunk Orson Welles.
We would just watch that drunk Orson Welles doing the wine commercials again and again, and it would be like we would need it. We'd need it as like a shot. We'd need a shot of that from time to time. Like,
Ernest and Julio.
we know a vineyard in California. Well, what is the first thing he said? Because there's one where he's practically asleep.
He goes,
they come in and they do the sticks, and he's not ready for it. He goes,
the great.
"Oh!" Like he buys himself a little time with a big "Oh!"
It's so funny, but you can't stop watching it. And we're talking about the poor actors who have to act with him in that commercial.
Who are trying to
Hold
support
it
him
together.
in every way possible. And they're probably so psyched, hey, we get to act with Orson Welles.
They probably told everyone they knew.
The staging of it is weird too, because he's sitting down and they're standing, which just accentuates the fact that he can't stand.
Right.
Why not put them? Why not sit them with him? You know, it's so awkward. And one of them's got the job. It's a piece of business. He's got to pour a glass once they start.
Yes.
So it's a nightmare because every single time they start, he fucks it up because he's too drunk. And
That's
he's got to do this
Pour
piece of
it.
business every time.
It's so great every
And
time.
points for straight faces on those two actors.
Amazing.
I heard a story, by the way, a quick story about Orson Welles.
Yes,
where
please.
He was directing a commercial, and call time was like 8 a.m. It's 8, 8:15, 8:30. He's not there. 8:45. Let's call him. They reach him up in Santa Barbara. The commercial is shooting down in L.A. He's up in Santa Barbara. It's like 2 hours away. And he's like, is that today? Well, then, all right. Well, I'll head right down. And they're like, okay, well, we'll just tell the crew to just cool it for a couple hours. You'll be down in 2 hours. He's like, yes, please. And so now it's 10:30, 11, 11:15. Let's just give him a call. They reach him in Santa Barbara. He hasn't moved. And the person on the phone says, well, Orson, what should I tell the crew? And he goes, tell them action.
I mean, that's when you're good. Like when you're that good, you just are given jobs that you can fuck up and just still do. Unreal. Yep. All right, we've got great stories. Let's jump into one.
Yeah,
shall we?
this is good. It's long. But it's worth it.
Oh, great.
This was sent in by Jonathan Wall at John_CW_Wall.
Can you do 2 underscores in one thing?
He did it.
I don't think he can underscore it enough.
Point guard for the Washington Wizards, John Wall.
He tweeted at Daniel Van Kirk, which is me, so that worked out. And then he hashtagged it Dumb People Town, which everybody can do.
Great.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
A Newfoundland and Labrador man. Can he be two? Is one
Newfoundland and Labrador?
I don't know.
He's from
It says a Newfoundland and Labrador man.
I thought it was a guy who just identified with those two breeds of dogs.
I'm a Newfoundland man. Yeah. Well, I'm a Labrador man myself. You know what? I'm both. I can't choose anymore. I'm tired of being asked to choose. Yeah. It's interesting that those are both places, and this guy's from both of those places, and they're both dogs.
They are both
You've
dogs.
hooked me.
I know.
I'm in.
I'm from Poodle, Canada.
In Shitsville. All right. A Newfoundland and Labrador man has been charged with practicing without a medical license
No.
after a woman. This is going to take a hard left. Wherever you think it's going, I promise you it's going to take a hard
What
left.
did he do to her?
Reported him to police,
Oh, God.
saying he asked her inappropriate questions about her son's penis and suggested he could perform circumcisions in his rural home.
No.
What?
Isn't this a brisk?
I will tell
Why
you.
is the woman still listening to him?
Oh, that sentence is what I said to myself 3 times in the course of this story. That you will say to yourself, at a certain point, it's on her for still being within audible
Get
range.
out.
Yeah.
He presented himself as a doctor. And no?
He just wanted to let her know.
Can I ask you one more inappropriate question about your
Okay, but then I really have to go.
Card ride.
Then I promise I'm leaving after this one.
You will hear the wheels peeling out.
I thought you were going to say, because I saw a little news story about a doctor that was injecting cement into women's asses.
That picture was great.
Cement.
Cement.
That's not going to do what you want it to do.
No.
Because the song wasn't
Unless
I like
you want a new
hard
shelf.
butts and I cannot lie. It was I like big butts and I cannot lie.
I just love that he couldn't lie. As much as Sir Mix-a-Lot wanted to lie. That's all he wanted to do was to tell you, I like small butt. He can't.
Right. No, he can't do it. He just can't do it.
Cannot do
It's
it.
not in him to
Cannot
lie. Yeah. Commendable.
Gentlemen, how are you? I noticed you were in conversation. I apologize for interrupting. First, I'd like to ask the three of you, can I talk to you about your children's penises?
Whoa!
Well, now hang on. Now let's hear him out.
Have you ever said to yourself, that could look better?
No, never.
Once or twice, I suppose.
That's inappropriate.
You guys are bailing quickly.
Andy is right on
Keep
board.
an open mind, gentlemen. Keep
Well,
an
where are
open
you going to
mind.
perform
It's
whatever
his
surgery?
character from Review. It's his character from Review. Like,
My uncle always said, hear out a man's pitch.
You don't have to. The worst you could do is say no.
right.
If I told you I have 3 timeshares.
No.
Carboneer resident, not sure if that's a breed of dog.
Probably is.
This is the man. Some people they choose their life. Some are born for it.
Their life chose that.
This is the man. Carboneer resident, Josh Chubbs.
Josh Chubbs.
Josh Chubbs, working on them dicks.
Yeah.
23 years old, was charged on February 20th under the Medical Act after a mother, whom CBC News has agreed not to identify. They all came to an agreement on that one.
This would not be good for
So
her.
23, so you must have really raced through medical school at age 23.
He duged it. Let's see. They called police to report that he had written to her last December. In my mind so far, it's pen to paper. He wrote her a handwritten
he
letter
wrote her.
about
Yeah, he
her
wrote her.
child's
Snail
penis.
mail.
Wait a minute.
Snail
So
mail.
this guy Chubbs,
Chubbs.
23-year-old Chubbs.
Yep.
He's from 3 different cities now in Canada.
According to this,
All right.
yes.
I got a real problem with that.
I feel like his
That should tell you a
nickname
lot.
I feel like his nickname should be Sticky.
I feel like
Jeff
based
Sticky
off
Chubbs.
his various locations, he speaks on the exhale and says things like, I don't really like to live in one spot for too long.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I'll just write you a letter about it.
Take that. You can take that how you want it.
I'm not going to go see a Dr. Chubbs,
No,
by the way.
me either. No.
Even if there
Certainly
were
not
one.
send my son there.
No.
Well,
I'm sorry, he wrote her a letter. It started with a letter?
Well,
I'm a little
I assume
confused.
it's a letter.
All
It
right.
was probably Facebook Messenger. Actually,
I
yes,
see.
it says here it was. He wrote her last December after she made a routine post on Facebook that
Routine
mentioned
post.
her children.
Sure.
Mentioned them.
Yeah.
The mother,
Two kids.
Yeah.
Here they are.
their mother, who lives in Conception Bay North. For those following along, we are on our 4th location in this story.
They're all weird.
Conception Bay.
Conception Bay.
In this bay
Every child
is where the children are
will be conceived. Sex Bay.
Are we going to be doing a water birth? Well, we are in Conception Bay.
You go down there and lay down on the beach, you'll get pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They'll get you good down there.
Get down there.
Yeah.
That's made up of half sperm. You just swim in there, and they'll
They flow right in, you know.
Sperms live in that bay for up to 6 weeks.
Yeah,
yeah.
Something about the pH levels, you know.
It'll impregnate you.
They were going to call it Petri Dish Bay, but they didn't
No,
think that
no.
would be too
Conception
good.
Bay.
I don't call it Little Swimmers.
Yeah, Little
Yeah.
Swimmer Bay. They thought about that. Yep.
Yup.
Yep.
We just say yup for
Yeah.
yup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Conception Bay.
The mother, who lives in Conception Bay North area, said Chubbs wrote to her to inquire whether her son, who is under 10, was having any issues with his genitals, such as infections that might require a medical procedure, like a circumcision, or can anyone in the world tell me what this is, frenulectomy?
A frenulectomy.
Frenulectomy.
I feel I've heard the word frenulum.
Frenulectomy.
Don't know it.
And so it is the removal
of your
Tissue
Friendster account.
around the head of the penis, which would just be a circumcision.
I sounds
guess,
like it.
Yeah.
Quote, this is what she told the CBC News, to say the conversation took a strange turn is a bit of an understatement.
It's already strange
However,
when someone you don't know writes that to you about your son's genitals.
However, She did not leave the conversation.
Why?
Well, how did he find? I'm curious to know whether they were Facebook friends or not.
Maybe she just left her
saying?
post public.
She left it public?
Yeah.
Am I doing that?
For those of you who don't know, circumcision
Stop
is
doing that, Ian.
often performed a few days after birth before discharge from the hospital or specialized outpatient clinics. However, because it's considered cosmetic, the surgery cost of $300 to $500 isn't covered by most insurance plans.
That's right.
Now, look, I don't want to burn a bit, but I genuinely am going to ask you guys this question, and it's something I've been trying to work on stage. I don't care because it's real life right now.
Real life.
Do you guys? You have daughters, Randy, so we'll count you out for
They're
this, but
both
you can also
circumcised,
throw an
I might
opinion
say.
out there. Andy?
Yes.
One son, two
He has
sons?
two daughters.
Two daughters.
Two daughters.
So I'm the
well,
only
Andy,
one in.
let's go for your opinion. Jason,
right.
step
I'm
up to the plate.
I'm
You've got
here.
the support of the room.
Ready.
When you have a kid, a boy, and they've got to be circumcised, now you're Jewish, so you probably had a brisk, right?
Yeah.
You did a brisk.
What was the
Brisk. No K.
Brisk. No,
Okay.
brisk. You had a
They do it
Lipton
briskly.
brisk.
Yeah, they do
You
it
had a
quickly.
brisk.
Uh-huh.
What did you? In every form of plastic surgery, you sit down with a book. Was this woman's breast before? Here they are after. Here's her lips before. Here they are after. Do rabbis or doctors have a book letting you know this is how this dick turned out 20 years later?
No, they don't.
So what are you just going? I asked a friend of this who's
It's
Jewish
faith.
as well. Yes, he
Faith.
goes. You know what? We heard that he had good jokes and he was fun and really good with the
The
family.
guy did have good jokes.
Has nothing to do with cutting your son's dick.
No.
But you don't care?
No. You just let it happen.
Well, yeah, I think
Putting
there's
a
just
lot of
one
faith.
way to
It's
do
a
it,
lot
right?
of faith.
No,
I mean,
there
you
are
know-
messed up penises from scar tissue, discoloration. Yes. People can do bad jobs on dicks. But nobody's like,
My son is
No,
all
well,
right.
there was the whole story about the twins. This was a whole bit of ours.
Yeah,
twins
the whole
in
bit about
Canada,
the
messed up
twins.
circumcision with the twins in Canada.
One of them had a messed up
Mutilated
circumcision,
his
mutilated the
genitalia.
genitalia. They had to.
Sorry.
Then they said, "Well, let's raise him as a girl." They did.
Yes.
He knew
Yes,
deep
I
down that he
remember the
wasn't a
story.
girl.
Yes.
Then they fashioned a penis out of his inner thigh.
Then he took the hormones. He started to become a man, and we said we totally both felt worse for his twin brother
Because that twin brother can't complain about anything in front of that guy for the rest of his life.
Complaining about small things is part of what makes life great.
Oh,
It's
what's bothering you today, huh? What do you got
at the bank?
You were at the bank. You had to wait a long time. Was it as long as I had to wait for them to fashion a penis out of my inner
Obviously,
thigh?
it was not that long.
Was it that long?
Obviously, it was not that
Were they out of pens at
Yeah,
the bank?
they were out of pens.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what that's like to not have the thing that goes in the thing.
but in all honesty, I've thought about this. So you have a son, birth. Hopefully everything goes well. Mom's fine. Baby's fine. Everything's healthy, right?
Yes.
And then you just trust that the doctor is good at cutting, doing
You're
plastic
suggesting
surgery.
that you should say to the doctor, do you have a book full of photos of penises
Here
that
was
you've
the
worked
kid.
on?
I cut him
that I
22
could
years later. Here's his
take home?
penis again.
You want to see a 22-year-old
I don't know,
penis.
18, 16, something. You
I
probably at
think-
least need to be 19,
I
right?
think
To get
very
consent.
But how can you verify
That's a
that
good-
those
I
were
think-
penises that he cut?
How can you verify that with the breast augmentation?
Can't.
You can't.
You just try. At least right now, literally, my mom had me. That's a whole other story. We both
Right.
almost died, but we all made it out, right? And then she just trusts that Dr. Hinderleiter knew how to cut a dick.
Yeah.
There's
Dr.
no
Hinderleiter.
vetting process.
You remember the
with-
name of that doctor?
Oh, yeah.
They'll never forget.
Hinderleiter.
Never forget. But yes,
He's
you
behind
are.
the letters.
We live in a social contract
You
with.
picked a guy to do plastic surgery on your son based on his rapport with the group.
I mean, look,
And
getting the picture
availability.
of the baby penis is not going to be difficult. A rabbi asking 22-year-old men to photograph their penises for a before.
Yes, what is it, Rabbi Chubbs? Well, I'm tracking down some of my more memorable patients over the years.
I'm telling you, there's a cottage industry in here somewhere for somebody who wants to go. I'll do right by your kid's
Let me
penis.
see one of them lookbooks.
Lookbooks,
One of
exactly.
them lookbooks.
Let me check those color swatches. Color swatches.
Think about that, Brandon.
Swatches.
Squatches.
I don't. Jay, you picked a guy to cut your kid based
It
on
is-
jokes and availability.
It
Just think
worked
about
out,
that.
Dan. It worked out,
I know,
and
but
everything's fine.
Okay,
But
all
Dan
right.
is right.
But Dan is right.
Yeah.
The
I
mother,
am shocked that I did it, and thankfully I never have to do it again.
the mother described Chubbs as an acquaintance. Oh, so I guess maybe they were friends. And said she knew he had worked at Noel's funeral home. There's your qualification.
Oh,
She
you
said
embalm dead
He's
people.
good with dead
so-
tissue.
Knowles. Maybe.
He could be performing circumcisions on the corpses.
Plenty of
never
practice.
know.
Yeah.
She said he explained to her that he also had training in pediatric urology and could do surgical operations like circumcisions. She's still in this conversation with this guy.
Yeah.
According to Facebook messages seen by CBC News, Chubbs asked if her son had been circumcised and several other questions that she felt were inappropriate. Not inappropriate enough to leave.
No,
Right.
she's still in the conversation.
Go on.
Yeah.
Quote, he said, "I don't want you to think I was a creep. I am trained." That sentence never goes well. If you're telling someone,
Is
I
that
don't
part
want
of-
you to think I'm a creep, guess what they are?
Is that in the Hippocratic Oath?
Yeah, not to
That
be a
part-
creep.
Yeah, like
Just make it clear that you're not a creep.
I swear
I am
that I am not a
trained.
creep.
I'm
Will do
trained.
no harm and make it clear you're not a creep. That would be great.
Yeah.
If your doctor before everything just goes, listen, I'm not a creep,
I'm not a creep.
but I do need you.
I do need you to strip
take off
down,
your
take
pants.
off all your pants, turn to the left, and cough.
Now,
They're
this is a-
required to say that as they're cupping your balls.
This is a
I'm not a
Polaroid
creep.
camera.
Wait, who are
I'll
you?
take one for
What did you played a doctor on a show too?
I played a
Doctor
show,
on
a lot of
Silicon
doctors,
Valley.
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley. That is you're
You
so
call it
good.
silicon?
You know what? I say silicon. That sounds right to me. But actually, the last time I was there, Mike Judge, because I had to say it in the script, and he was like, "Up there, they all call it Silicon Valley. It sounds crazy.
Silicon.
Silicon.
Sounds awful.
So I'm
Silicon
wrong
Valley.
calling it Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley is not even one of the options.
It is in Dumb People Town.
Perfect. You were great on that show, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I love
As with everything.
Silicon Valley.
As after pressing Chubbs further when she could have walked away.
Pressing Chubbs.
Pressing Chubbs is like.
That's the name of the movie.
That's the name of this episode, probably. That's probably the name of this
I
episode.
thought that was
that's
like
the name
the
of the
Canadian Chasing Amy.
Pressing Chubbs.
Pressing Chubbs.
You're pressing Chubbs, man. You're pressing Chubbs, man. I think that was said on the Exile, or on the Exhale. You're pressing Chubbs, man. Let me tell you a story. I once had a chub. Anyway, I bailed. She said he went on to explain how he never finished his urology training because he fell into the funeral business. You know how that goes,
Yeah,
guys.
it's either or for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Which way are you going to go after this?
Do I finish medical school?
Pediatric urology or embalming people?
Why not? You know what? In his case, sounds like a little of both.
Yeah. Hey.
He can't be in one town, can't be in one profession.
Why choose?
If
Yeah.
not me, who is what he says over and over again.
It's always crazy when the dumbest people get the most confidence.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
They should.
He told her he had
Are you
that.
talking about our president?
He told her he had training in pediatric urology and, quote, dealt with lots of boys who have had issues. Might want to follow with another not a
Still
creep line.
in the conversation.
Yeah. And you called it from the beginning, Ran.
Dealt with lots of boys who've had issues after I dealt with them.
I gave them
Not
the issue.
good. Not good.
Jesus.
I did finish my course, got all my papers. It's not legal. I am trained, he told her, and added, I just don't work for the hospital, which is why I don't broadcast, but it's legal. A lot of
Wait a minute.
Why don't broadcast?
This is what he said.
I'm
I'll
fairly
read it.
certain he said it's not legal. A sentence before he said it's illegal.
Right. Yeah, I'll read it again. All the quote. I did finish my course, got all my papers. It's not legal. I am trained. I just don't work for the hospital, which is why I don't broadcast, but it's legal. That's all one
It's
sentence.
not legal. You said not legal.
But it's legal. That is the
It's like
greatest.
that Trump thing where he's like, look, I don't want to say, I'm not the one saying that. I'm not saying it's fact. I'm just saying a lot of people are saying it.
It also sounds like he talked himself into it being legal
Yeah.
in the course
In
of
the
this
course
post.
of, I have
It's
my
not
papers.
legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm trained. And
I've got
that's
my
why I don't
papers.
broadcast it. That's legal. You know what? It's legal.
It's legal. It's not legal. It is legal. Let's go to you, Phil. Chuck Lorre from that's a classic little clip.
In the
Love it.
messages, he claimed he had performed circumcisions for his adult friends on the side. That's always on the side. And that he had all his papers.
Which side?
I love that a guy from two towns with dog names has his papers.
Yeah.
He added he could do the procedure right in his home, which she described as little more than a cabin in the woods near the town of Freshwater.
So she's
For those keeping a
Another
track at
town.
home,
Fifth
location.
Town, Freshwater.
Yeah, and she's seen his place. Or do you think he sent photos? Here's the
Photos.
office.
Look.
Here's the
Right.
office.
Just so you know, I'm not a creep.
Plenty
It's
of
a
highlights
cabin.
magazines strewn about the place for the kids.
He
Find
can
the
read my
differences.
manifesto while he's waiting.
I'm dealing with a boy right now.
Yep. He's on Bluetooth
with the boy
talking
with
to her.
issues. Yeah.
Let me unhook the boy.
At this point, she's still in this. At this point, I had Googled the length of time it takes to become a pediatric urologist, and he hasn't even been out of high school that long. That's assuming he finished.
You said, Jay.
That's what I said.
So, quote, she says, quote, so I knew then that this was something that needed to be brought to a higher power's attention.
I'm glad
Which
that
to me,
this
she
is
just
the
started
point.
praying about it.
Like, who's the higher power?
Just
OJ?
Jesus. Yeah, she just starts praying. The
The
woman...
second he says, does your son have something wrong with his penis? That's when you report it to a higher power.
Right.
Pretty much.
Right. Flag and remove.
Oh, it's
Right.
just because he's in a one-bedroom cabin?
Oh, that's
Ah, guys, there's too many red flags here.
Freshwater Lake, excuse me? I'm not going all the way out there.
When have you ever known something untoward happen
If you're her
near a
son,
saltwater lake?
do you eventually get mad at your mom for going this far down the road with this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
would
do.
too.
Yeah, Mom.
You do.
Thanks for almost having
Not
me.
protecting me.
The woman noted that the messages she received from Chubbs, I'm getting mixed signals from this Chubbs, were difficult to read because of the numerous spelling errors.
Yeah.
Oh, Chubbs.
He's working on medicine, not spelling.
Right. According to the woman, Chubbs referred her to a mutual adult friend who had a frenulectomy or circumcision operation successfully done by Chubbs. So now he's providing references. He has a lookbook.
Lookbook.
I got to find out more about this guy.
Yeah.
If it's
Oh,
true.
here you
I'd
go.
love it if it's true.
The
Yes.
friend confirmed it and went on to say Chubbs seemed professional and that there were no complications from the work.
Seemed professional to me. It's only my dick.
I don't know if somebody's willing to look out there in Dumb People Town, but if Chubbs has a Yelp page, we need to see it.
Need to see it.
What's his first name?
I got a pretty good circumcision from not Dr. Chubbs.
Not
Words you
Dr.
should
Chubbs.
never hear about
Josh
your doctor.
Chubbs.
He seemed professional.
Yes.
How was your doctor? He
You know, it seemed professional.
Then get out.
The mom said hearing that Chubbs had operated on an adult was disturbing enough, but for him to approach her about doing unlicensed surgery on her child was what finally drove her to contact police. There's a big gap in there between him bringing it up and her finally contacting police. Yeah. Quote, I was absolutely horrified, she lied. It red flagged, this is still her, it red flagged a lot of stuff for me because God forbid there would actually be somebody too embarrassed to take their child to a doctor who would take them to a friend who is clearly not certified to do these things. But he did say they are legal. I made that last part up. Too nervous to call the Harbor Grace the RCMP's Harbor Grace Detachment, I don't know,
Royal
to
Canadian
explain. Mounted Police Harbor Grace Detachment, which I guess is their office or precinct.
They come on horses.
She was too nervous, guys. Too nervous to call them to explain what
she's
Chubbs had
scared
said.
of horses.
So she asked a friend to do so. There are so many characters in this story.
Yeah.
She now has a friend doing her bidding.
You don't directly talk to the Chub.
Nope.
She's scared to call the police. There's a reason, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
She's up to some
Something's
shit.
wrong with her.
Yeah.
That's why she waited so long.
Yep. She said it first.
like your investigation.
How about let's hear it for the Canadian police? She said at first police didn't take her friend seriously and hung up on her. No, ma'am. No, we're not we're not going out there.
No, we're not.
Well,
Okay.
it's a friend of mine. Not really
Okay.
a friend. I worked with her 2 jobs
a friend
ago.
of a friend
anyway.
of a guy who's cutting dicks. We don't care.
no.
I'm gonna transfer you to my friend. His name is Dial Tone.
Wait a minute. That's like being hung up on.
Her friend called back a second time. They finally listened, and eventually charges were laid, not filed. We're up in Canada. They're laid.
The lambda.
Not only was Chubbs allegedly offering to perform medical procedures without proper credentials, guys, shocker, he also had not finished his apprenticeship to be a mortician.
You're kidding.
Wait a second. And that maybe is the biggest tragedy of all this.
Is that all?
That he's claiming.
I am shocked and I'm outraged.
The RCMP are not commenting on their investigation or lack thereof. The mother said she went to the media to make sure others don't consider getting their child treated by someone, which means she considered it, someone without proper medical credentials. Quote, it's important for people to know that without proper credentials, things could go wrong. File that under no shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I want everybody to know, if somebody does some sort of surgery on you and they're not trained to do it, just heads up.
Don't do it.
It could go wrong.
Could go wrong. Could go right. That's definitely a possibility.
Cut to friend who's like, hey, he did it on me. Everything's fine. Let that woman speak for herself.
Yeah. He's sane professional, everybody.
It's a scary thought to think this is going on in a cabin in the woods. Ma'am, it's scary to think anything that's going on in a cabin in the woods. My family has a cabin in the woods.
And you're scared.
Sometimes there's scary things going on there.
And you're there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chubbs is scheduled to appear in Harbor Grace Provincial. Say it for me.
Provincial.
I know. Court on April 12th. You guys ready to play a game?
Yeah. How old? No.
We already know 23. According to Chubbs,
Another good name for the movie.
According to Chubbs. It's like inventing the Abbots.
According to Chubbs, how many...
The world according to Chubbs.
Waiting for Chubbs. According to Chubbs, any which way but Chubbs, how many procedures has he done?
Ooh, this is good.
He has said that he has completed X amount of frenulectomies, which is, I think, when you lose a friend. I'm going to ask the room. We'll start with Randy Sklars. Well, no, you're the guest.
Well, I'll tell you what's complicated about guessing.
Do you want to go first or last? You get to choose.
I'll go first.
Okay.
But I want to say what's complicated about this is, on the one hand, his incentive is to brag and to say, I've done a lot of these and it's been fine.
Sure.
On the other hand, he's got to know that every one of these is another criminal charge. The incentive structure here for him is hard to guess.
That would give him forethought and understanding cause and reaction.
Cause and effect. He doesn't get that.
No one's going to be able to track this conversation on Facebook.
It's better for him to come out and say, what are you talking about? Even to the judge, I have done 400 of these,
Right.
So I'm going to guess he probably claims to have done, I'm going to say 35.
Wow.
35.
Whoa.
35.
That's
Jason
a
and
lot.
Randy,
That's a
I
lot.
defer to whichever one he wants to go for next.
I say 18.
18. That's kind of modest, enough to where you know what
It's
you're
enough
doing.
to be like, I think he's probably done 18.
I'm going to say 24.
24.
Yeah, because he's a fan of the show.
Chubbs. Josh Chubbs, 23 years old. Not a mortician. Not a doctor.
Claims to have done.
Claims to have done more than
Oh, God.
50 procedures.
Daly.
Daly for the win.
More than 50 in that cabin in the
Daly,
woods.
double.
I don't believe that it's possible, particularly in Canada.
Are there that many dudes that...
It could be he doesn't understand what a procedure is, so like clipping his friend's nails could be
Counts.
for him. That could count.
Yeah.
But I assume he does mean he wants to let you know he's done more than 50 circumcisions.
Yeah, this is a real going concern. I'm doing this. It's
He's
happening.
laid his hand on 50 other people's...
Also, for the record, I want to say this guy, all he wanted to do was cut dicks.
Yeah.
And throughout the whole story, we wanted proof that he was good at doing it. Yet you take your son to a rabbi or a doctor and just take they were good at delivering babies. They're probably good at plastic surgery.
I came here to do two things: chew gum and cut dicks. It looks like we're all out of dicks. So I just need some more gum.
Does anyone have any hubba bubba?
All right, we're off and running.
That's the first one
Story
in the
number
books.
1. Cabin in the woods.
Pressing Chubbs.
Pressing Chubbs. We're already off and running. Dumb People Town. Andy Daly, David Kirk. Stay with us. There's more.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Dumb People Town. Andy Daly, follow him on Twitter. He is
TV's Andy Daly.
TV's Andy Daly. And speaking of TV, watch his show review.
Catch it on demand. You can catch it at ComedyCentral.com. Hopefully be in front of the paywall, we hope.
Or on the app. Does anybody use the Comedy Central
I think
app?
I
so.
do.
You do?
I do.
Yes,
I
I
use
have
the Comedy
that.
Central app on my iPad.
Oh, cool.
On my iPad, and I watched
Your information
and I
pad.
watched an episode of review the other night.
you go.
On my
Hot
on my
dog.
iPad.
All right,
Andy,
good.
I want to tell you. So when I first came out to LA, I got an internship, luckily enough, at UCB Theater on Tuesday nights, which
Franklin.
for 10 years was just like,
Yeah,
it would start
Tuesday
out
was
with
good.
Doug Benson,
Yeah.
and then do his show, and then if you had a ticket for that, you could stay for Comedy Death Ray, then Comedy Bang Bang, and then after that, they would do Diamond Lion musical improv, and then usually like another group, and you just got, I mean, literally, it was like the best comedy in
And
the
there was a show
country.
called CNX Tuesday, right?
Yes,
That was also
yeah, that was there too.
That was a good one.
So, being an intern, standing off to the side, done cleaning the toilets and vacuuming the floor, and the show's underway, and watching you do Don DeMello
Oh, yeah.
on Doug's show, and you did it other times. It was one of my, I mean, that is one of the richest because a lot of times if you're doing like a famous character, you're going in with assumed knowledge already. But to have you develop a guy that was so clear and so precise in such a short amount of time, and then just
Explain
keep
who he
mining
was
that
to the
guy.
crowd.
Can you explain him to the
Don
audience?
DeMello came about because Scott Aukerman was doing a Christmas episode of his podcast, and I had a newspaper at home with an ad for the Radio City Music Hall Christmas Spectacular. I think we were subscribing to the New York Times at that time. And the ad was like Santa Claus and the camel and all that stuff. And then this line of chorus girls, high-kicking dancers, the Rockettes, and I was like, what the fuck is up with that really? That's weird that there is like this group, this leggy holdover from the Ziegfeld Follies in this children's show. It's just odd.
I saw it.
And so I was just thinking about who's in charge of that part of the show.
That guy.
And so that's Don DeMello, and he's just the most disgusting, horrific
Throws
monster.
some leg in a kid show.
DeMello, bring out the girls. I like you. That's a little something for Daddy.
Don does this thing. He kept
Thinking
doing
to
it.
himself.
The first time I ever saw him, Don has this thing where he gingerly takes his hand and like sets it up on the table as you're about to like make a point. Let me tell you, Doug. And it was something about you having actresses in the attic that you were currently training.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Oh my God, it was
Guys
just
are in
that.
pens backstage. They're in little pens.
Wait, what?
Is that part of the training process?
Well, you always want to know where they are. They're right behind the camels.
Wait a minute.
No.
The camels.
Are you in any relation to Burgess Meredith? Because there's just a bizarre.
You better eat lightning and crap thunder.
He just is
As a
the.
rocket?
As a rocket.
Oh, wow.
He literally just like.
He'll knock you to tomorrow, rocket.
You got no problem with a rock.
Love it.
Kid.
But that character, man, as somebody who does characters, it was just so rich. Like watching you do that. I love that guy.
Beautiful.
It's so dark.
When you're in a character like that and you know that you've got lots of places to go no matter what gets thrown your way, that has to be like a great feeling, like you're in the pocket.
Yeah, it's great fun. Yeah, to just always know how your character is going to react as horribly as possible is the answer.
Just know that that's it, and then how he thinks about it is how that person would think.
Yeah.
And you literally are real time, and that's when you're fully engrossed in what it is. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, sometimes I do a show where my characters, I'll do like an hour-long show where my characters take questions from the audience. It's
the best.
It's great fun.
Because you're like, this is how it goes.
This is it.
I know how I'm going to answer this.
We used to end a lot like live podcasts like that where we would let people from the audience just ask whatever character of mine or whoever else we had up there.
Yeah, we'd have
to-
like 3 people. Like
and it's so much fun.
Oh, it's
because
great.
they commit to it too.
Yeah.
You know?
But you just know that you're going to score every time because no matter what they say,
Right.
you have your attitude down. So
Pretty
it'll
much.
be funny and
Yeah.
it'll be hilarious. I love it.
Finding that attitude, that's the key to it. Well, you guys want to do another story?
Let's do it.
Okay. This is kind of fun. This one was sent to me by Don Johnson at Cap'n, CAPNDMAN, Cap'n Man.
In demand.
Don was at our show in Portland. He came there with his mom. She actually turned him on to Dumb People Town. Nice. He was a great dude. And she told me about this newspaper that she had saved this story forever, just in her own personal life. It was made for Dumb People Town. It was hilarious.
A clipping.
And she would always tell people about it. And then when we started doing Dumb People Town, she had said, I need Daniel Van Kirk and the Sklars and
to break
whoever
this
gets it.
down.
Yes. And so I said, take a picture of it, send it to me. He hit me up on Twitter and he said, yes.
How old is this story?
It is Saturday,
Oh.
November 27th, 1999.
Jeez.
From the vault.
Yeah, Don
Pre
said he's-
9/11.
Pre 9/11, we had just moved to LA right at that time.
99. I had not moved to LA yet. I was still in New York.
Till like
my
when?
last year in
Like
New York.
2000?
I did pilot season 2000, and then I was bi-coastal for a year and a half.
You did a pilot season.
So yeah, Don and his mom are probably listening to this right now. He tweeted at me. He said, at Daniel Van Kirk, it was great meeting you, the Sklars, and Rags at Helium and PDX. Everybody who was at those shows. I mean, the love and the just, it was so
much
great.
fun.
Afterwards, hanging with everybody. He said, my mom wanted me to send this to you.
Love it.
Hashtag Dumb People Town. I am now going to read you this story.
Okay, this feels like
I will say this
I feel like
before
you
we
got a
go
piece of the Dead Sea Scrolls. That's what this feels like.
99,
I will say this before we go in.
Dumb Sea Scrolls.
As with so many stories in Dumb People Town that come across our blotter, a lot built up before this day.
Yeah. This is an iceberg of dumbness.
Right.
Here it goes. The region in brief. Man, teen, fight about skinned bird.
What?
Police were called to a northeast. Remember, this is November 27th,
99. The world was a different place back then.
It was pre-Y2K.
Pre-Y2K.
Who knew what was going to
But we were getting ready for it.
We were getting ready.
Yeah, we were on high alert in
3 months away.
November of 99.
We were stockpiling skinned birds.
Yes, you gotta skin at least 100 birds.
Did anybody else have any of those people in their lives? This is before like social media, so you didn't get to see what your aunt thought all the time. But did anybody else have people in their lives who were like, it's all going away?
Yeah.
That
I was that guy.
You were?
I was totally that guy.
You thought it was going away?
I truly believed Y2K
would be a disaster.
All of our credit card information is going to go away.
Yeah.
The financial system's going to crash.
I thought it was going to be chaos in the streets.
Really?
I had a car parked somewhere.
With a go bag?
Are you serious?
I'm not
Are you
Andy
serious?
Daly.
I'm totally serious.
Are you that way in general?
No, I was.
So what do you think about the current administration?
It's bad. Yeah, I'm really worried.
These guys who are like, I've had.
I wanted Andy to be like, oh, we're fine. No.
Oh, this is gonna be fine. Don't worry. Oh yeah,
I'm over that. Once I knew that Y2K wasn't happening,
well, that actually was a big thing. Like,
it was, but
yeah,
like,
it was
but to
huge.
watch on New Year's Eve.
what
is
about
like
the Mayan
nothing
calendar?
happened.
Did that freak your ass out?
No,
Okay.
I don't get. That was the last time I really was.
What
like,
about those
God damn it.
billboards like 5-7 years ago that were like May 22nd, it's all going down? Remember
yeah,
those
that was
billboards around LA?
My
no.
calendar,
Okay, wait.
2012.
I
was
love
not.
this, though, Andy, and I love your honesty about it. So Y2K's like rolling up, and you just had read enough articles or heard enough potential problems that you were like, I just got to be
need
ready.
an escape route.
And like any conspiracy theory, like this thing happens anytime you believe in a conspiracy theory, where evidence that's contrary to your theory just expands your theory. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
And I was in that trap. Like I was watching
God.
people on TV go, like experts saying, this is not an issue because it's a very minor computer glitch and the companies have worked to fix it and they didn't even need to anyway. And I was like, this fucking guy is part of it.
Yes.
He's trying to,
He's covering it up.
I can see
this
that
guy's
more.
going to be on a space shuttle on New Year's Eve.
He wants
going
you to
to
believe.
New Earth.
New
I
Earth.
wasn't that bad,
You're
but I
like,
really
they're
did.
putting stuff in mountains, guys. They're putting stuff in
No,
mountains.
but I really did believe that, like, the people on TV going, this is no big deal. We're just, their attitude was like, there's nothing we can do about it. Let's not let people panic, like, or have a run on the bank.
Now-
Let's just, you know what I mean?
Now, you are living in New York at the time.
Yes.
You're from the East Coast, too, right?
Right, uh-huh.
Okay. Where were you going to go?
I had a cousin who lived in rural New Hampshire.
There you
and I
go.
was going to go straight up there, and we were just
Newfoundland,
going to
Labrador.
I had like a camping stove, and I had all this like canned stuff, and I just thought we're just going to hunker down.
Can
in
you tell me
rural New
about
Hampshire.
the day? I'm assuming might have been the first week of January. Might have been the first week of May. When you went and finally were like, I can get this stuff out of this cooler. Or do you have one ready to go in LA right now?
You should.
What did I do with all the canned goods and
It's
stuff?
parked
in that
on
car?
Woodman and Hortense.
It's ready to go
anytime.
DeLong, Prey, and La Brea, ready to go.
Jesus.
No, it was right away. It was really, I was watching TV at home, watching New Year's Eve hit like across the globe.
Yeah.
And just going, if nothing,
we're okay.
nothing
Yeah.
happened
Get rid of
in
the
Paris, nothing happened in London.
I mean, you were ready.
All right. So,
Okay, here we go.
So
Anyway.
Skin Birds, 99.
Police were called to a northeastern Salem residence Thursday,
Salem, Oregon.
which I'm assuming is Thanksgiving,
Oh, yeah.
when a fight broke out between a man and a teenager, leaving several broken home furnishings, a few cuts and scratches, and a naked but cooked turkey. Oh, guys, my screen just timed out. Come back to me. Here we go. Sorry. A naked but cooked turkey abandoned on the living room floor. Turkey's on the floor. Thanksgiving
Floor
is
turkey.
over.
What does that mean that it's naked? It doesn't have those little paper feet on them?
I think we should revisit the headline where they're fighting about a skinned bird. According to the Salem police officer Bennett Rowe, who knows what he's up to these days,
up to a row.
the fight started after the man ate all the skin off his female acquaintance's Thanksgiving turkey while she was away. From the room? I don't know. When the woman and her teenage son returned from a shopping trip and confronted the man about the missing skin, an argument progressed into a physical fight.
Wait.
The man threw the turkey at a wall, shattering a mirror, which is
29 years of bad
We
luck.
call that a Michael Keaton. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts move.
Wanna get nuts?
That's a
Let's
Keaton.
get nuts.
That's a Keaton. Throwing the turkey at the mirror.
My question: did he grab both the legs of the turkey and got a
And they
discus
ripped
it?
off, so then he had to pick up the whole thing.
this turkey so bad you'll have to go into another dimension to get it.
He tried to throw it through the mirror into it. Wait, but in everyone's defense, the skin is the best part of the turkey. It's fantastic.
He would agree with you. I love that they were
fantastic.
they say acquaintance, I'm assuming boyfriend. Or they're in the process of breaking up.
Stepdad?
Yeah. And she says, we got to run to the store because we're out of Cool Whip. He's getting his learner's permit, so I'm going to let him drive. The turkey's done. The turkey's done.
Turkey's done, just warm and ready.
All you need to do is sit here and watch the turkey.
Just don't touch it.
Maybe I'll just grab a little bit of skin right here.
They won't miss a little bit of skin. Oh, it's all connected.
It's all
Yeah, you know what? They probably don't.
Imagine my surprise when I realized it was all connected.
You know what? I've eaten all the skin. Here's what I'll do. When they get back here, they can have all the white meat. I'll eat the dark meat.
Yeah, he's willing to sacrifice. Feels terrible.
Really giving on this.
Feels terrible.
I just love that they confront the man about the skin, and then he instantly throws the turkey at the wall. Like, he came in, he was waiting for the fight they were going to have.
Came in
If they
hot.
say anything to me, this turkey's going right.
It's hard to take responsibility and apologize, but I'm having a hard time imagining his counter argument.
You know what they do?
Should have seen what that turkey was
You
wearing.
left it here. You wanted that skin? You should have taken that turkey with you.
What time
you
is
know
it?
me.
What time is it?
Skin time.
The man and the teenager began fighting.
Oh, jeez.
What are you thankful for? Overturning chairs and breaking furniture. This is like a Family Guy fight with Peter and the chicken. Like, they are going around the house breaking everything.
Breaking stuff.
They didn't stop until the woman threatened the man with a baseball bat and ordered him to leave, police said. Police declined to release the names of those involved because no one was arrested. We'll just call this a wash.
Yeah. By
The man.
way, you know what we call that? Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
Thanksgiving.
That's what everyone wants to do on Thanksgiving, but they don't have the balls to do it. Start smashing. No,
Say one more word and I will
I swear
say
to God.
another
Say
fucking word.
Look at me. Look at me. In a
Tell
funny
me
way.
one more way I'm not raising my kids right. And
The
this thing
baseball bat is right there against the wall.
There it is.
right there.
This poor guy is having a real Donnybrook with a stomach full of turkey skin.
No, man.
That
There's no
easy.
way. There's no way he can run.
He's fighting. He's like, "Brr, can we just? Oh, yeah, that is. Also, it's making me a little tired. So if I'm not fighting up, that's on me.
Wouldn't mind putting a little meat in there just to settle it. Settle it.
He's
Can I-
like suddenly Robert Durst the whole time. That's what he starts saying.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I ate the turkey. Did I have the skin? Was the skin already gone? Is that my fault? I don't know.
What did I do? Eat all the skin, of course.
Wait, oh no.
He goes
Heard
into
on
the
a
bath. He goes into the
sounds
bath.
about-
Yeah.
What'd you do? I ate the skin, of course. They know you did it.
They know. Also, I
And the
feel like
burping.
a guy that eats all the turkey skin, then throws a turkey and gets in a fight, is constantly asking for a timeout during the fight. Timeout. Come on, God damn it!
He literally.
Don't pick that up. Don't pick that up.
What did I say? Timeout! God damn it!
He flipped them the bird. Like he did that literally.
I'm
Like
gonna flip
that's
this
the
fucking bird.
definition
I'm gonna
of
flip
it.
this bird.
I'm flipping the bird.
The man in his 40s, predictably enough, told Bennett Rowe, the cop, once he began eating the turkey skin, he couldn't stop.
That's it.
Literally, what do you want to do, man? I couldn't stop.
Pringles syndrome.
Bennett-
Once you pop, you just
Just
can't
don't-
stop.
Bennett Rowe said the fracas should remind people not to let little things escalate into violence. I love this hometown Bennett.
Yeah.
I call it
He found a
fracas.
lesson in this story.
Yeah,
He's
he
going to
did.
leave us all. Last line. We'll get on this. He left us all with a little advice. Quote from Bennett Rowe, wherever you are right now, I hope you're retired and having a great life, Bennett. He said, quote, there's no amount of turkey skin worth fighting over.
Oh my God.
Happy holidays,
That's a way to
everybody.
live your life. That's a Miyagiism.
That should.
I don't know.
That should be the phrase. For
Think
the
of the
Thanksgiving
but right
parade.
now I just want you in light of this whole story. think of the crispiest, most savory
the
turkey
best,
skin.
like perfectly crispy turkey skin.
Like it's been in there too long.
I could stop eating it.
Could you stop?
I
think
browned.
I could stop eating
Andy,
I think I
Andy,
could,
it
too.
is so perfectly browned and crispy.
But all of it?
Yeah.
all of it.
So you're telling
Yeah,
me
a little bit, and it
Sklars,
just kept going.
You guys have done a couple Thanksgivings together in your life. Both of you admit you're not selfish, but you want that turkey skin?
All of it.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Andy, I'm with you.
All
It's
of
fine.
It's all right.
I'm not opposed to
The
it.
more we're talking about it and I'm thinking
The more
about
I
it
want
being
it.
like turkey's skin, the more grossed out I am.
Why does someone make turkey skin jerky?
Yeah, someone should make turkey skin jerky.
Just dry it out.
But actually, you know what? Now that you're saying this, I don't feel like I get my hands on a lot of turkey skin.
You need to do it, Andy.
But now I'm wondering, where is it going? Who is
Somebody in your house.
wife of our turkey?
Your wife is
Your
taking
wife
all
and
of
your
it.
daughters, and you need to turn
Somebody
your
in
anger
my
on
family
them.
is eating all the
You
fucking
come back with some
turkey.
cranberry sauce, and that turkey is skinned. You fucking throw that thing out a window.
My daughter's so cute. She's dancing around, but really, what's going on underneath all that?
Got a
She's
stomach full of skin.
stomach full of
Two
skin.
things. I said earlier, Cool Whip on purpose, because if you're putting whipped cream on pumpkin pie, don't ever talk to me.
Who are you?
Oh, it's got to be Cool Whip.
Ooh, yes, 100%.
Interesting.
Andy, I want you
Yeah, all right.
to tell your family, you know what I would love, guys? Whenever it's Dad's Day, maybe Father's Day, say you want a nice big turkey. When you sit down to the table and all that skin's gone, pick that sumbitch up and throw it into the wall.
Yeah, just feel what it feels
How
like.
great of a feeling to take food and just throw it into the
The
wall.
feeling of the exhilaration
That's why the world
in
hates
his
us.
well, the exhilaration in his body when he's like throwing this against the wall.
It's like it's like the hammer toss in the Olympics.
But in doing it, he knew that he wasn't going to be cleaning it up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you make a move like that, there's something so awesome and reckless where you're like, I had no responsibility.
So he threw it.
I answered a no one.
This is it. This is a no going back move.
Yeah.
Well, also she's like, get out, and he's like, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Walked out the door.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
clean up. You
Final
clean up
note?
the turkey juice off the mirror.
I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there in globules.
Final note, as of Christmas Day, 1999, happily married for 18 years.
The two of them?
I'm joking.
All right, let's take a break. More Dumb People Town with Andy Daly and Daniel Van Kirk with the Sklar Brothers. Stay with us.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Hey there, Adam Conover here. Humans Who Make Games is my podcast where I sit down with the people who created some of your favorite video games and have the kind of long-form personal conversation we so rarely get to hear. We talk about how they got into the industry, what their favorite games were growing up, and what it's like working in the trenches of this century's greatest new art form. This season, we've got a whole batch of new interviews for you. I talked to Kim Swift from Portal, Alex Preston from Hyperlight Drifter, Anna McGill from Control, and Alex Beecham from the game Outer Wilds. Whether you love video games or you just love learning more about other artists' creative process, I can guarantee you're going to love this podcast. So, you can get Season 2 of Humans Who Make Games wherever you get your podcasts. Take a listen.
All right, guys, welcome back to Dumb People Town. Thank you so much for... Let me just say this. For everybody who's listening to this right now, take 1 minute. That's all it's going to take. Rate this podcast on iTunes. Give it 5 stars. That's what we ask of you. And review it. Put one word. Great. Awesome. Love. Whatever you want. Rate and review it. And that will keep us up amongst the top. And that is a great thing for building this thing out and growing it. So I just ask everybody who's listening to it right now, if you're enjoying it, pause it, rate it, review it, and if you're subscribing, that's even great too. And tell a couple friends about it as well. We're going to be in Austin, Texas. I think it's like the
20. You'll be there. Were you in there
19th,
Wednesday?
Yeah, 19th through
19th,
the
20th, 21st,
The night of
22nd,
the
and 23rd.
So the night of the 21st, which is Friday night at 6 p.m., we're doing a live Dumb People Town at the Speakeasy. It's going to be so much fun. We're very excited about that. We have a bunch of other shows that weekend. It's the
going to be hosting the ping pong tournament on Saturday afternoon. That's the only thing going on at like 2 o'clock at the Stateside Theater. And just good fun. If you are there in Austin, come check us out for all of our shows and be a part of it. We might even do My Favorite Murder, maybe. If we'll
see. Yeah.
We'll see that too on that Wednesday night. But guys, check that out. And then a couple weeks later, we're in Kansas City. We've never been to Kansas City. We're going to do a Finding the Funny there. and we'll be there May 11th through the 13th. So please check us out for that. Anytime people can check you out, any live stuff, do you ever post it up or do you follow you on Twitter for that information?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
right,
I don't like to leave the house.
All right. Too much turkey skin. Don't want to see anybody else get it.
We start our own homage to Nick and Crow and John. Nick Kroll and John would just be like, it's too much turkey. Too much turkey. I want to let everybody know that leading into Moontar, I can't wait to do that with you guys. I will be doing the 420 show. That's Thursday, April 20th. I'm headlining The Secret Group in Houston. If you go to www.thesecretgrouphtx.com, you can see their calendar right there and get tickets. They're only $10. Doors open at 7. It's going to be so much fun. Show starts at 8. And come see me do some headlining stand-up comedy. It'll be fun. Yeah.
What?
All
right, you ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
Final story.
Sent in by Farmer73 at Farmer73.
Only.com.
Yep.
We start out with a wonderful, I'm going to read it as the newscaster wanted me to. As if drivers needed another distraction these days.
Oh, God.
An Idaho woman who crashed into a deer on the night of March 22nd claims the animal was chased in front of her by a Sasquatch.
No.
Holy shit!
I know.
I believe her. Let me just start by saying I believe her.
Are you serious?
100%. Have you seen the center on the Gonzaga basketball team? That is proof that there's a Sasquatch.
That's a good point.
Sorry.
Do you believe in...
That's not fair.
Does anyone in this room believe in Bigfoot?
No.
This story might bring me around.
Yeah.
The unidentified...
I believe in big feet. I don't know if I believe in a big foot.
The unidentified 50-year-old woman from the town of Tenst apparently became just that as she was driving along US 95 near Potlatch, 2 locations so far, and saw a shaggy 7 to 8 foot tall creature running after the deer on the side of the highway. This
is the one moment I hate it when people on Twitter are like, show me a picture, it didn't happen. But this is a moment where I want to be like, get out your phone and take a picture of it or else it didn't happen.
This is the thing. If you guys have ever avoided hitting a deer or hitting a deer, many people in my family have hit deer.
Could it have been a bear?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm thinking too. Because why not just say, hey, I hit a deer? Why do you need to say it was chased by Sasquatch?
Yeah, you're now...
Because what you're trying to say in saying that is this deer was dead meat anyway. I'm not a murderer.
You think that?
I'm a mercy killer.
It's not my fault I hit the deer.
Right.
Putting him out of his misery.
Yeah.
I love that she said 7 to 8 foot tall. How tall are you?
7 to 8?
7 to 8. Are you about a 7 to 8? I'll take that as a yes.
I'm driving very fast in my car in Idaho because there's probably no speed limit, but I'm just assuming from
7 to 8?
7 to 8 feet.
Can you stand next to the road sign? I know how tall that is, just for some perspective.
It's on
Can
a
you
slant,
understand
though, so
what
I'll
I'm saying?
adjust.
Yeah,
I love that a mythical creature that I also don't believe in. I mean, I saw Harry and the Hendersons, but you
don't believe in John Lithgow either. So
no, that's true.
That's true.
That guy,
never believed
he does not exist. He does not exist. That I know.
He is a figment of everyone's imagination.
They're known for,
wonderful actor.
They're known for like their staying hidden. I love that she's like, it just ran along the road chasing a deer. They would not do that.
Yeah, they're not hanging out by the
Sasquatch
road.
would blow its cover just to chase a deer.
Just to chase a deer.
I got it.
This is all according to the Moscow Pullman Daily News, by the way.
So Moscow is on the border of Idaho and Washington. Moscow is where
University of Idaho.
No,
Idaho State.
No. Washington State University.
Washington State. Yeah.
That's real.
Wazoo. Yep.
Huh. You guys know your stuff.
We performed
we were up there.
Oh, really?
Up there.
Stayed at a red line. Performed at the red line.
The woman told police that after speeding by, she took a look in her rearview mirror, and the next thing she knew, the deer ran into the road and slammed into her Subaru Forester. Which means...
Did the deer slam into her Subaru?
That's what she said.
So this was the deer was committing suicide. The deer was like,
enough.
I'm not going out this fucking way, getting torn limb from limb.
I'm not going out this way. I'm going out this way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe he literally... This is the worst pun I've ever made. The deer ran into the forest?
Said he was literally
I understand
he
if
was
people
literally
turn
a
up.
deer in headlights at that point.
Exactly. Uninjured, she left the area to pick up her husband at work. The hell were you? That's probably
how the story. That's how the story goes.
Well, there was a Bigfoot. It's always fucking Bigfoot.
Okay. Sure, Colleen.
You sure you weren't at the department store at the perfume counter for an extra 29 minutes? There was a Bigfoot, I promise you. I
He
promise
was running
you.
along the road, and then he chased
Doing
after
what?
a deer. And
Chasing a deer?
Yeah, he chased after a deer.
And
then
I
the
did
deer,
not.
And the deer jumped in the road and then crashed into the car.
The deer crashed into
yeah,
you.
deer crashed
Crash
into
into
the
me.
car.
Yeah,
He
no,
said-
I did not drive straight
It's
into
like
the
that Dave
column
Matthews
of the
song,
parking
only
structure.
less tragic.
Where's that Sasquatch at now?
Oh no.
I don't know.
I'll prove it. I'll go to the newspapers.
You don't think I'll tell? I'll tell everybody. Would I tell if it wasn't true? Would I tell if it wasn't
I'm
true?
not going to give them my name.
Exactly.
She didn't. She wouldn't.
She goes to pick up her husband at work, then reported the incident to the Benawah County Sheriff's Office. Police found, believe it or not, no evidence of a Sasquatch at the scene of the accident, which is not far from Moscow Mountain. Here we go, though. The location of several alleged Sasquatch/Bigfoot sightings over the years. I love that the newspaper is like, we will say, in her defense, we did
It was in an area where we seen a lot.
That's a police officer that's also on board. Like he's
Hedging bets.
He's the
Listen,
guy.
we hear about this all the time.
He's like, this is why I get to come home an hour late
Jay,
from the bar.
let the sheriff make the statement here for a second.
Well, as you know, we've been asking for additional funding for Bigfoot research and
I remember that.
and
You need
prevention.
a Bigfoot committee?
We have
You want a
asked.
Bigfoot committee?
Sir, we were trying to get a referendum for a school, and you are still standing by this need
Well,
for
we
a
do need our armored Bigfoot vehicle because
I don't know why it has to be armored.
Why, and I don't know why it has to be
seems-
parked at your house on weekends.
we keep it there at my house on the weekends.
Wow.
We want to get a video game system in there, of course.
Wait, no. How does that help? How does that help?
That
catching the
feels like
Bigfoot?
an excessive addition.
Well,
to-
we understand that those sorts of sounds, so we'll draw the Bigfoot and
For the listener at home, I'm the mayor behind the sheriff, nodding approvingly, just
time.
like in favor. These two went to high school together.
They want
One
a tank.
sheriff.
They want a tank.
You guys just want a tank to take off-roading on the weekends, just to run down people's
I'm
acres.
telling you,
an armored
Evan, I'm
Bigfoot.
telling you, we gonna run this goddamn town.
We'll do whatever the fuck we want. I'll back your place, you back mine.
We're iron sharpening iron, motherfucker.
Hell yeah! That's how we got the Bigfoot tank.
We just drive it around. I mean, hell, we'll put it in parades. People think it's the greatest thing ever.
I went through the drive-through, scared the shit out of those people. Bigfoot tank.
I think the things are getting too high. We got to put somebody in a Bigfoot suit. Like we need one picture.
Oh shit! I'll flip you for it.
Oh damn it!
Love it. All right. Well, we talked about Thanksgiving earlier.
Yep.
And we got a certain voicemail, even though it's, for Christ's sake, it's the middle of April.
It is.
But,
right around the corner is what you're trying to say. Thanksgiving
is right around. It's never
rapidly
too early.
coming upon us.
It's never too early to think back on some of your fondest Thanksgiving memories. We actually got a voicemail from Mark Wahlberg talking about one of his fondest memories, and it, of course, as you can imagine, it involved Donnie. Take a listen.
What's up, Sklar Brothers? How you guys doing? You doing good? Fucking right to, heard you guys talking about Turkey Day. Or as I like to call it, No Carbs Day. We got that kind of shit going on at my house. First of all, we always start out with a pull-up off. Donnie loses, so at least he's consistent. And then we sit around and everybody passes food around Donnie. Whatever doesn't get eaten, he gets to have as long as he does the dishes. The also reason I'm calling you guys, just so you know, June 23rd, Transformers, the last night. Only we spelled it with a K. So does it play Sacred Dart time? Is there like a guy with a sword? Also, get this. You know who's in this movie? Fifth Billing? That dude from the guy who tried to eat Jodie Foster from the 90s. He was in Westworld. I'm trying to think of his name. Anyway, he's an old dude. He's in the show, seemed nice, British fella. And he's in that movie, so it's Transformers. And if you look really, really, really closely in the background, you can see Donnie drinking a Capri Sun. All right. I gotta do my 5K right before I do my 22K. I'll talk to you guys later.
22K.
He has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't even know.
Donnie has a lot to be
so many
thankful for.
Ks.
I know, it's a
I
lot
feel
of
like he
Ks.
just wanted to promote his next movie.
I feel like he just wanted to promote Donnie drinking a Capri Sun in the movie. Is he getting a kickback from Capri Sun?
Oh, clearly. I know how Michael Bay works.
Yes.
Got a little Capri Sun
I
money.
feel like it might have been one of those deals where Donnie needed to keep his SAG card.
Yep.
So
There's
they're
like, just get him
we'll
in.
put you on a- we'll give you a
We'll get him
day.
in
We'll give you a day.
Uncredited, but he gets the SAG.
gets the
SAG
day.
He
card.
gets the Plan 2 insurance.
I love it. Andy Daly, thank you for joining us on Dumb People Town. You have an open invite.
Thank you. I had so much fun.
I love having you watch review.
People are really dumb.
They
People
are
really dumb, and we like to
try to understand why they
or
are so
enjoy
dumb.
it. Get
I
that
think you hit the
Bigfoot
nail on the
thing.
head, though. She was running late, and she needed a bigger story than I
needed a
just
bigger
ran
story.
into a deer.
Commit to the Bigfoot.
Nothing bigger than a Bigfoot.
Because he'll say, well, if you were on time, you wouldn't have hit that deer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Couldn't avoid it. Bigfoot. Anyway, check out review on Comedy Central
On demand.
or on ComedyCentral.com, or use the app. Check that out. And we'll see you guys in Austin, Texas, all of us together for the live Dumb People Town.
Yes.
And thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
Press those Chubbs.
Dum dum dum.